Right, welcome back, listeners. It's been, 2 or 3 weeks, money shot, since we've had a bit of a conflab, so looking forward to catching up with you and seeing what's happened and what happened.
We lost our Pukekohe, so we didn't lose too much there 2 weeks ago, and then last week you had commitments. Congratulations to your youngest daughter, got a university degree. Clearly she threw to the damn side of the family for her brains and her looks.
Nah, she did well. No, it was good going down there, and I was really proud of her. But, good to get away from Tauranga and get down south with the old haunt. Went past Trentham Racecourse, still the same, obviously. But anyway, you were at Cambridge Harness on Saturday. How was it?
I did go over for the jewels. Club put in a huge amount of effort to make the day successful, and I think all those in various corporate hospitality areas would have said the day was very successful. Probably the walk-up crowd didn't turn up. The $30 gate charge, you'd think, probably put some people off. But tell you what, how lucky were they again with the weather? I know Ashburton have dodged snow by a day, and the Jewels dodged the rain by a day as well. But that's the luck of the draw. The racing on the track, depends who you talk to. Some people thought it was boring, it was processions, but hey, the best horses rose to the top, and I didn't think the racing was too bad, actually. Maybe because I made $1 or $2.
Well, that certainly helps. Yeah. The boys get paid. I saw a couple of background shots, especially when Dexter won the last race. They were pretty happy.
Yeah, the chant went out for Dexter, and they did pretty well off Pat Slide in the last, so they certainly add flavour and atmosphere and to a race day, and it's great seeing them getting so involved. Their enthusiasm is infectious, you'd have to say. So Luke's doing a tremendous job there with his group of boys get paid. They're off to the Cox Plate, actually, to watch Winks hopefully winning fourth. So
amazing.
I wonder if they'll be able to get enough volume in their chance to overshadow 20,000 on Cox Plate Day at Moonee Valley. That'd be an effort and a half.
Yeah, it'd be a good challenge for her. And our quaddie syndicate managed to strike the pick six. We spent $540 and got $20 back. Better than nothing. All the favourites came in, so that's just the way it goes. But
yeah, it was a bit like that. Actually, the highest win dividend was $4.20 on the day, so
was it?
Certainly.
I was playing 500 while I was watching the jewels on and off, and having a good time down with the family, playing our 500 card tournament. Some of you listeners would have played that before, and if you've played that, it's a lot of fun. A lot of banter goes on too. But anyway, and the other thing that happened on, was it Wednesday? Tipped out a horse called He'll Be Jake at Rigdon. Looked really well placed to win, and it won. And you could see 150 out. There were the second horse had to change ground slightly and come around it. And a couple of people rang me and said, "Oh, we're in trouble, aren't we?" I said, "No way. You'd have to prove beyond a pretty good reasonable doubt that the other horse would have beaten it, and you could not say that." So I was confident that wouldn't be put out. So it's nice to get one going your way from an inquiry. Did you see that race at all? Or?
I didn't actually. No, I missed that.
It was a pretty heavy track, but I rang Paul Harris afterwards, the trainer, and he said the wording from the JCA was that they weren't satisfied. The other horse would have beaten the other one, would have beaten He'll Be Jake. So that's all he asked for, consistency. So anyway,
we should touch on Wanganui from Saturday. Tomalila going back to back in races, winning at Rotorua, and then again at Wanganui, getting up by the barest of margins. I thought over the line, I thought She's Poppy had won again for us, but Tomalila just snuck home by a nose.
Yeah,
I didn't actually see too many of the races, to be honest, at Wanganui. I wasn't paying attention. Did that rail that they put up around that top end to stop them coming too wide, did that work?
I didn't actually notice. I don't think they came too wide early on this racing, did they? They usually go wide about 600 metres out. They weren't going that wide early on, so I'll go back and have a look actually later on.
Yeah, I just remembered that when I was looking through the results. I didn't notice it on the few glances
No.
to the screen. That, yeah. So, She's Poppy, does that horse ring a bell to you, Neil?
It does, actually. I'm still suffering the pain from that chocolate fish I had to pay you, but that was...
Yeah, well, you got one back with Max beating Just a Charlie in the Waikato steeplechase, so we were square there, but we tipped out a Quinella and a winner in those chocolate fish bets, so hopefully the listeners got $1 or $3.
Yep. Well, that sums up the last couple of weeks. So, under part 2...
What about Wednesday night? What do you got to talk about Wednesday night? The origin, state of origin.
Yeah, I was tossing whether to have a bet or not, and I decided not to, just as well, because I was going to back the combined points of 34.5. But they stopped at 34. It was a good game, I thought. I enjoyed watching it. New South Wales had to have more firepower, but I think Queensland at home, if they play there next, or the game, is it there next, is it? At home for Queensland?
I think it's Sydney next, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Sydney at home they'd be damn hard to beat, obviously, so I was hoping they'd...
So you're picking New South Wales to win the series, obviously?
If they're playing at home, there'd be a good chance to go back, wouldn't they? At home, so they'd be hot favourites. What do you reckon?
Well, to be honest, I didn't see the game on Wednesday, so can't really give too much of an informed opinion, but it seems like the changing of the guard, they finally brought in 11 debutants, and they seem to have done the job. Queensland obviously losing a few of their star players to retirement and injury and the like, so maybe it is the changing of the guard, but gee, I'll tell you what odds would have you got 15 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, to say New South Wales would only win one series in, I think it's 13 years.
Yeah.
That was the beauty of State of Origin, is it was so even. No, I don't think any team had won more than 2 or 3 series in a row, and then Queensland go on a tear like they did, and be interested to see. Maybe New South Wales could win it for the next 10 years. Somehow I don't think so, Neil, but...
No, but...
all records in sport are made to be broken.
Yeah, they would improve. Gee, something else I should bring up is the game. I watched the game on Friday night, NRL game. I forget who was playing, but the refereeing was shocking. The referee actually just blatantly lied that he called a held ball.
That was South Sydney, yeah.
Yeah, did you
South
see
Sydney
that?
were playing.
You could see in the background.
I did see that.
The referee said he called held. They got past the ball and they scored, but he called it back because he said he called held. And it showed the referee in the background, and you didn't see his mouth say anything. And we played back the replay, and you couldn't hear him call held. And he said, "No, I called held, we're coming back." And the captain of the other team said, "No, you didn't," I think he said, and he didn't. So it's just a law unto themselves. It's just, maybe it was the referee upstairs said, "Oh, that was a held ball," but surely if you don't call held on the ground, how the hell are you supposed to know? Anyway.
Yeah, frustrating.
Yeah, it's sport for you, I suppose, but good game though. Rightio, we'll be back with a preview of a couple of good jumps races at Trentham in a sec.
2 meetings tomorrow in New Zealand, thoroughbred wise, Te Rapa and Trentham. We'll focus at Trentham. The 2 prestige jumping races transferred from Te Rapa on Sunday. The KS Brown Hurdle and the McGregor Grant races 3 and 6. Neil, we'll start off with the KS Brown Hurdle. The Shackler, you'd have to say, was a fortunate winner last time in the Waikato Hurdles. It's a wonder it had it on toast, except for botching the second to last jump. So, can It's a Wonder turn the tables with the weight relief it gets tomorrow over the Shackler?
I think he can. But you've still got to jump those hurdles, don't you? That's why they put them up. And if It's a Wonder had jumped that second to last, he would have won all right. He's better off with the weights, but the Shackler's a good jump out in front. But that 4 kgs difference, I think, is going to tell. And It's a Wonder back on a heavy holding track, which is going to be tomorrow. I think 320. I'll be taking him in a small multi or something just for an interest. But It's a Wonder for you too?
Yeah, holding tracks. I like backing Istedard on holding tracks, and he's by Istedard. Pretty proficient jumper too. He was jumping very well until that rare mistake last start. So I see he ran third He's won truckload of races. The Big Opal probably like to get out in front, but I think you've found something out of the top three, something other than the top three, I should say.
Yeah, wise men say he's been a good horse to us. Well, I think you've backed him, I've backed him in those big races, and he's done us proud. But that figure of 8 course, I've walked that inside before. It's just not as heavy as the course proper will be, and 4,000 metres with no hill in the way. I just think $3, you just couldn't back him at that price. That leaves it open to number 4, Just Issue, I thought. Good second last start to no change over hurdles. He won at this meeting last year over steeples on a heavy track. Chop rider David Jensen on. He has to be a chance. What do you reckon?
No, I'll go against you, Neil. I don't know. I don't know if this horse has been the same since that, when he went out red hot favourite in the Wellington steeplechase at Hawke's Bay last year and disappointed. And since then, he hasn't really done a lot. So I'll oppose Just Issue, and I'll go for a bit of value.
Yep.
I'm sure when the owners bought Zardetto, being by Redout's choice, out of a Zabeel Group 1 winning mare Champagne, who ran second in the Melbourne Cup. She might not have won a Group 1 actually, come to think of it, but she ran second in the Melbourne Cup. They wouldn't have envisaged a jumping career for their pride and joy, but that is what he is now as a 10-year-old. I like Aaron Curry. He's one of the very best in the game on top. Paul Nelson knows how to get a jumper right. So I'll oppose you and say Zardetto to beat home Just Issue in the steeplechase for a Chocolate Fish. And we're both leaving out Chocolate Fish.
Yeah, we are too, but yeah, I can smell a bit of Cadbury's there, so I'll definitely take her on there. Just looking at the rider's record, Aaron Curry, 458 career starts for 70 wins. David Jensen, 38 career starts for 1 win. Go David, you can do it for me. He's an improver, young, up-and-coming young rider. Just needs the right breaks. This horse will do it for him, I reckon. So
there you go. You've done your homework there. 1 win, 1 second, 1 third.
Yep.
35 unplaced rides.
Yep.
Odds on in your favour, I have to say, Neil.
I've gone against the odds before and it's worked, but he's hoping it works again. Okay, and over in Brisbane, good race over there, isn't it? The Stradbroke. And,
yeah, disappointing, you have to say. Doomben is not the track eagle farmers in terms of for that big field. The Stradbroke with the shorter straight at Doomben makes it a bit harder.
Yeah.
You've been doing the form over there, been following the Brisbane Carnival, and I think you've latched on to one that's looked after you at its last start, and you're sticking with him, number 1, Impending.
Yeah, I don't like backing horses that I've backed previously, which your heart gets over your head, but in this case, I just really like the horse. He's an athletic horse, a bit like Rough Habit. He just puts his head down and just goes. So stuff the weight. That won't worry him. 57.5. He's a good horse. And I think there's plenty of speed in this race. And drawing 9, Damien Brown, that was a top rider last start. He'll just bide his time midfield, pick the right part of the track, and you watch him come. He's drifted out from 550 to 650. I think he's still a good bet, and an off-track won't worry him too much. So, good race there. Now, did you ever watch Rough Habit live overseas in Brisbane?
I never saw him in Brisbane. I obviously watched the races. I saw him, put me on the spot here, let me think, March 1992.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he won the Captain Cook Stakes at Trentham when I was there. And I think he won in Rough Harbour, might have run 3rd off the top of my head without checking there. What else would I say?
A few listeners will be checking that out right now, and you're probably right. I should lay odds, actually.
Yeah, it was definitely March of 92. Yeah. That's when they ran the Captain Cook at Trentham. I'm pretty sure he won that day. But you'd have to say that 3rd Stradbroke win would still be the greatest performance in our lifetime in terms of a single performance with all that was against him and where
Yep.
to come through. I think even Jimmy Cassidy would admit basically the horse steered through the gaps. He kind of just held on for the ride, and to do that, unbelievable horse. What did he win? I think he won 29 races all up from memory.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And I remember one day at New Plymouth, while we were reminiscing about Rough Habit, you can check this one too. One day at New Plymouth, I think he carried 71.5 kilos to win a graduation open race there when he was getting ready for an overseas campaign.
I still remember seeing that race on TV. Yeah, I remember him winning that race, and
Ross Elliott might have ridden him that day.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
he just
I'm not even checking Neil. I'm just guessing all this stuff.
We'll check it later.
But your Wheels, I saw Wheels at the Jewels actually on Saturday. He was in good form as he always is. Top man as Wheels. Bet you he'd love to have a Rough Habit or two still in his stable today.
Shivers, yeah. No, he just that Stradbroke when you get out, you never get sick of watching that race. He just picks the gaps, puts his head up, and just goes, doesn't he?
Unbelievable, really.
Just fantastic. Anyway,
we don't seem to have horses like him anymore, do we? I mean, that can go and go and go.
That's right.
I guess it helped. He was a gelding, obviously, so he never had a breeding career ahead of him. But
just a tough bugger.
Yeah, I guess they're slick, not on the same level, but he had a numerous number of starts. But yeah,
actually,
those kind of horses are the ones that a lot of people remember and probably helped enhance their overall love of the sport. Really, horses like him. And
I met an owner, one of the owners of Rough Habit last year. I might do an interview with him actually, and just ask him for his memories and do a little thing about that. But must have been a thrall following his career. Yeah. Okay, so Te Rapa's looking like an improving slow 8 to a slow 7, dead 6 track maybe, and Trentham.
Definitely fine weather today and tomorrow forecast. So
good racing.
Shouldn't be any issues with kickback tomorrow, hopefully, Neil.
No. All that sand would have been gone back to the beach, just about half of it, by the sounds of it. Yeah. Okay, so back with a sports preview in a moment. Okay, tomorrow night we've got the first of, is it 3 test money shot with the Froggies and All Blacks?
Yep, 3 back-to-back tests on the 9th, 16th and 23rd of June. I think it goes Eden Park, second test is Wellington and third test is Dunedin.
Good.
Should be an interesting game. I just did look back, Neil, over the last few years, the All Blacks' first test of the season. Generally speaking, they haven't covered the start. 2013, they only beat France by 10. 2014, they only beat England by 5. 2015, that was their first test was Samoa actually up there, and they only won that by I think 9. So last year they smashed Samoa. I'd say that was a bit of an aberration.
Yeah.
So I'm going to suggest France can stay within 24.5 points. A little bit of rust still in that All Black system. Missing a couple of their gun players, Retallick, Dane Coles. You'd have to say Sonny Bill. People love to hate him, but he is really the best number 12 in the country still, in my opinion. So a few players missing. France, they certainly improved throughout the Six Nations. So I think they're not the worst, and no way do I think they'll win, but 24.5 I thought was a pretty good start to get. And if you wanted to, the other one we sometimes like is the halftime point start, if you want to look at that, and France plus 12.5 actually. When you look at that, 12.5 at halftime, option 43, number 2. That's the bet. Option 43, France plus 12.5 at halftime, $1.82. There you go.
That's pretty good. Okay, on that, does sound good.
All on to Manly to beat the Warriors.
You reckon?
No, I'm asking you.
I don't know. Is Manly weak because of the state of origin players? Do you know? It's a bit of a guessing game this time of year, isn't it? So I'll just be watching.
I think the Warriors could win that game. I know they have a terrible record in games
You reckon?
And now everyone will be jumping on Manly for sure. I think the only time I've tipped the Warriors this year, they've lost. So.
Yeah. No, it's be a good game to watch. 5 o'clock, I think, tomorrow, isn't it? So, no, that bet against with France plus 12.5 sounds like a good bet. Into that. What another big sport over the weekend is there? I think the golf.
Well, the NBA finals. I don't know if you've watched any of that, but how good are Curry and Durant when they need to be? They literally lift it to another level. You have to feel sorry for LeBron. He's doing all he can, but unfortunately it is a team sport and one man can't stop 5 half the time. But it's been good viewing those first 3 games, but you get the feeling it'll be all over probably in 4.
You'd think so, yeah. I watched one of the games. It was really good to watch last Friday, I think it was. Yeah. First or second.
Yeah, that would have been the first one. Yeah, gee, didn't that guy have a brain fade? J.R. Smith down a point, and they were all tied up, and he dribbles it out to thinking that they've won, not knowing the score. Yeah, I don't think that went down too well with his teammates, just quietly.
He was denying it, apparently. He gave some excuse for doing it, but didn't he?
Well, you could see, basically, he said, I thought we were in front again. Yeah. You only had to lip read what he said.
That's right.
They're just trying to cover up, I guess, a mistake, but it's a high-pressure sport, what happens, but...
Sure is.
There's that. What else have we got? The Aussie Island test could be interesting. After the All Blacks, the league's always a bit of a lottery after state of origin, depending on injuries and the like.
Right, yeah.
But no, it should be Saturday night. Will be the night for your league and your All Blacks. Should be a good old night of sport.
Yeah, I joined the Mount Maunganui RSA the other day. And
did you?
Yeah, I might go down and watch it there. There's a good atmosphere there, and they reckon on a Saturday night. So, down for a good feed and
cheap booze.
Cheap booze, yeah. You can get a van there, van back. So anyway,
they have a TAB there, don't they?
Yeah, good reasonable TAB, I suppose, but good pool table.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so back with part 4 in a moment. Okay, part 4 now, the most controversial part of Heads Up. Now, Money Shot, you've heard something recently that is not too good.
Well, just the TAB, if you visit any of their retail stores, previously they had a service called TAB Retail Audio where you'd have Mark Clayton or Cameron Shaw or even Mike Dillon saying we're crossing now to trackside 1 for the next race at blah 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 and moving over to trackside 2 for this and that. So they kind of swapped from one to the other to capture whatever was most pertinent at the time. They've scrapped that, and now in the TAB retail stores, radio trackside plays. And now you've got occasions where, say on a Wednesday afternoon, I think it was Des Coppins last week, he was interviewing someone and he didn't cut short the interview. A race went from Ipswich. The race was played. There's no commentary whatsoever. Des finishes his interview. A couple of minutes later, then there's a replay of the race. So you get the commentary, but by then the TV's moved on to something else. So what's the point of listening to a commentary then from I know why he does it from a radio point of view because the audience haven't seen it, but they're trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, but I think it needs some serious fine-tuning because it's very annoying to those people in the retail outlets having to either have races with no commentary whatsoever or then getting commentary well after the TV have moved on to another race. So bit of a brickbat there. Hopefully it's teething problems and it will be rectified.
Yes.
But basically now you're going to get a lot more races on radio trackside to accommodate this, and that means not so much time for experts like Neil Davis to give his thoughts like he used to do, was it on a Wednesday night with Mark Clayton, because it's basically back-to-back racing now.
That's right. They used to have the NRL guy and a harness guy, and it was really good. I used to listen to it myself. But it's all information. They had trainers on, but I don't know, it does need to be fine-tuned, definitely. No, I must go down one day, actually, on a Thursday or Friday, and just for half an hour, and just listen to see what's happening. But,
yeah. Now, you've got a bit of a brickbat over the rules of overuse of the whip and
Yes, on Monday at Avondale, one subscriber texted me really happily when he backed Ego Princess. It was the top rated horse in the ratings, and he got it at a good price and it won well. So I thought, I was actually on a plane, the race was being run. So I watched it afterwards, and I thought, gee, that jockey whacked it a few times, and obviously he had, because he got fined. Kavish Chowdhury, this is race 3 at Avondale on Monday, on Ego Princess, got fined 12 days for overuse of the whip. And I counted the number of times he hit the horse from the 300 metres to the 100 metre. Now the rule is they can hit it 5 times, then 5 strides with no hits, then 5 more times until the 100 metre mark, and then they can do what they like. But this horse was hit 28 times and wasn't hit twice from the 300 to the 100. And I've been watching racing for a long time. The other 3 riders around the horse stuck to the rules, and this horse, in my opinion, definitely got a winning advantage. Won by, 0.8 of a length. And if Ego Princess, say, had won by a nose over Moe Molly, as a connection or a punter, you'd feel hard done by when a rider blatantly breaks the rules and gets a distinct advantage. But you can't challenge or put on a protest and based on those grounds now. The rule needs to change, or discretion needs to come in from the Stipes. So maybe it's going to happen in a Group 1 race where a jockey flogs a horse and wins by a short margin, and everyone's going to be saying, he flogged the bloody horse, so he should get put back. But at this stage you can't.
I know it's a little bit of a long bow, but there was a dog race, I think, on the same day on Monday, where the reserve dogs were put into the wrong boxes. So I think number 9 had drawn box 6 and number 10 had drawn box 8. Or it might have been the other way around, but they were put in the wrong boxes, and of course they were declared non-runners. Now, yes, punters didn't get the right information, but effectively, you could say those dogs' chances were affected, just like all the other runners who followed the rules were affected, and yet the punters don't have a right, or the other owners' connections, and vicariously the punters don't get a chance to appeal the fact that someone's blatantly broken the rules and won the race.
Yeah. Distinct advantage, man.
It seems be interesting to see. I know, when they brought in this rule, they made it clear that it couldn't change placings on the day, but maybe, as you say, you need to have that discretion, and maybe that would stop the overuse even more, as well as the fine.
Yeah.
Just as an aside, I know NZTR in their recent communications have insisted all clubs paint the last 100 metres, the rail, which you probably see on most clubs now, that red rail, so the jockeys know they're within the last 100, and they've insisted all the outside rails of race courses are also painted. You won't see it from TV because it'll be on the inner part of that rail, but so jockeys also know when there is less visibility in winter, and also when they're out towards the centre or outside of the track. So there is no real excuse for jockeys. They know the rules.
Yeah.
So if you're not within that 100, you can't whack it 23 times out of 25, 28 times out of 30.
Yeah.
Strides.
Incredible. Yep. Just didn't worry about the rule. You must have backed it, I suppose.
I will talk when I next see one of our learned RIU folk. I will ask them a question. Is it up for consideration, a rule change?
Well, you imagine if BT Junior got beaten a nose in the New Zealand Cup by a rider who stuck to the rules, and the horse that beat it was flogged all the way down the straight and beaten by a nose. You'd feel dirty, wouldn't you, for such a big race?
You would. I would give you that. Yes, you would, Neil.
So
actually, just as an aside, he's back.
Is he?
BT, look out for him. Beginning of August, he's looking a box of. He's looking very good. Let's just say, after having a few injury issues. So, but you're right. I'll see what the argument is as to why. Some instances, no, you wouldn't change the placings, but that 1.8 of a length, and that's blatant. You know, if it was only one or two over the prescribed limits, you might show a bit of leniency, but this one, clear breach of the rules, and less than a length. If there was the option, would the JCA uphold a protest in that regard? I guess their argument probably is there's so many variables that it's easier just to say no, but you could then say, well, there's so many variables around interference, but some of those get upheld and some don't, so it's the same sort of concept. It's using a bit of common sense, isn't it, really?
Yeah. It'd have to be a pretty good case, like beaten by a nose and that sort of situation where you'd be justified to reverse the placings. But anyway, next time I get to the races, still have it. I spoke to a steward actually a while ago about this, and he said there's no rule at the moment that says you can protest on those grounds. So anyway, it needs to be sorted out sooner rather than later. Nice weather up here at Tauranga at the moment, and we're looking like a decent track on the 23rd, are we? For Tauranga. Looking forward to that.
2 weeks' time, the only thoroughbred premier thoroughbred meeting in June is at Tauranga.
Yep.
And you've done your long range weather forecast, and you've told me it's going to be good. So I look forward to that. You might have to come out, and we might have to do a broadcast live and exclusive from Tauranga Racecourse.
Definitely, most definitely. And I've got a long range tip already. Deals in heels for the Weight for Age fillies and mares race. $50,000. I reckon she'll get beaten tomorrow at probably a short price. She's had 4 weeks off after a slog in the bog at Arawa Park, and I think she'll get back, run on well, and be primed for Tauranga in 2 weeks' time.
I can inform listeners she has had a leg issue since her last start, so just be a little cautious. And I think she likes rain on the day, that horse. So I don't know if Te Rapa is entirely her go. Hey, that field you talk about, the Woburn Farm Tauranga Classic, you got Under the Moonlight, you got Deals and Heels, you've got Art Deco. There's one other that signalled coming towards it as well. Could be a good field, actually.
No, I'm looking forward to that race. And Deals and Heels is one on the track there before too. So, and the Kiwi Fruit Cup, it's going to be good.
Oh yes, the Kiwi Fruit Cup. Yeah, Deals and Heels beat Splurge, and remember that you had your big trifecta going Punters Club back in the early November meeting, if you recall that.
Oh, that's right.
If the Ruffy had got up for third.
Yeah.
I think Galaxy Miss was second and Splurge third from memory.
That's right, it came back.
You had a $50 trifecta with the Ruffy running fourth, straight trifecta, would have paid plenty.
It would have, yeah.
I don't like to remind you of those near misses.
I actually finished my counselling over that meeting about 2 weeks ago.
Did you?
I'll have to go back now, Buggy. So, right, you think. And the Form Bro ratings have been doing well. And like that Ego Princess on heavy tracks are really good, just to put the filter up, find the best heavy track form, and if they've got apprentice allowances, they're usually good.
You don't split loose versus holding.
I'd love
a bit hard, is it?
I'd love to actually discuss that, whether we could actually put loose holding, or actually put, say, the time of the 1200 metre race of the day beside there. Like you could have H11 and H for holding, and say 16 being 116 for 1200 metres. So you would know it was a 116 track on a holding track. And you'd even put in bias, but that's a lot of work, manual work. But that's what we should have, I reckon. And the form lines is whether the inside was off or not, and what the tempo was like they have in Australia. It's not hard to do, but it would be really good information for punters looking back, especially in wet tracks. Anyway?
Because it's very different holding and loose tracks, isn't it? I mean, and you see certain horses. There was a horse going around the other day. Luke Balani in the last at Avondale, and it's like that. You look at that horse's form; it loves it when it's loose, rain on the day, which it had at Avondale.
Yep.
And that was a good thing, I thought, just because of the track conditions. Certainly, horses, if they like that rain on the day, and some like it just sticky and holding. So you edge over the majority of people who don't do the same homework.
That's right. Yeah, I do it virtually full time, and there's only so many races you can do properly. So you've got to pick and choose which races you do. So if you can do all your homework beforehand and have things like that available, you can do a lot more. Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit. Anything else before we sign off?
No, I think we should go. We've talked too much.
Yeah, okay.
Good luck to all the subscribers, and we'll be back. We should be back next week, I'd say.
Definitely, and the week after we'll do the video live from Tauranga Racecourse. Looking forward to that. Interview Craig and a few local trainers maybe too. Mr. Pender. So here we go there. Never know your luck.
Never know your luck.
He's done. Okay, catch up next week.